This is why Chernobyl is remembered as the world's worst nuclear accident. In a single night, the course of history was forever altered. The events that unfolded at Chernobyl would not only devastate a region, but also send shockwaves around the globe, changing the way we think about nuclear power and safety. Let's break down, step by step, how this disaster happened. It all began in the early hours of April 26, 1986. Engineers at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine, then part of the Soviet Union, prepared to conduct a safety test on Reactor 4. The test was meant to simulate a power outage and determine if the reactor's turbines could generate enough electricity to keep the cooling pumps running until backup generators kicked in. The control room was filled with tension and uncertainty as the test began. The team was under pressure to complete the experiment, and some were inexperienced with the reactor's complex systems. Their goal was to see if the reactor could keep cooling itself during a power outage, a critical safety feature. But the test was poorly planned, and several steps were skipped or performed out of order. A series of mistakes and dangerous design flaws set the stage for disaster. Operators, following flawed procedures, disabled multiple critical safety systems to carry out the test. This left the reactor vulnerable and unstable. As the test progressed, the reactor's power level dropped too low, and in an attempt to recover, operators made risky adjustments. The reactor became increasingly unstable, with pressure and heat building rapidly. At 1:23 a.m., a sudden and unexpected surge of power occurred. The operators tried to shut down the reactor, but a fatal design flaw in the control rods made things worse instead of better. In an instant, a massive explosion tore through Reactor 4. The reactor's core was exposed, and a fireball shot into the night sky, releasing radioactive material into the air. The force of the blast blew the heavy steel and concrete lid off the reactor. Firefighters and first responders rushed to the scene, unaware of the invisible, deadly radiation surrounding them. They bravely battled the flames, risking their lives to contain the fire and prevent further explosions. But the radiation was spreading quickly, carried by the wind across Ukraine, Belarus, Russia, and eventually much of Europe. 2 plant workers died instantly in the explosion. In the days and weeks that followed, dozens more would die from acute radiation sickness. Many of the firefighters and plant workers suffered severe burns and radiation poisoning, sacrificing themselves to protect others. Within 36 hours, authorities ordered the evacuation of Pripyat and nearby towns. Over 100,000 people were forced to leave their homes, their belongings, and their entire lives behind, many never to return. The once bustling city of Pripyat became a ghost town almost overnight. In the months that followed, a massive concrete sarcophagus was constructed to seal off the destroyed reactor and contain the radioactive contamination. The Chernobyl disaster became a symbol of human error, extraordinary bravery, and the devastating cost of nuclear power gone wrong. Today, the Chernobyl exclusion zone stands as a haunting reminder of the disaster's legacy. The story of Chernobyl is a powerful lesson about the risks of